We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get sushi after Monday Night Raw? What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It's Thursday, November 13th. We had a wicked Blood and Guts last night. 2 Blood and Guts matches. We basically got a free pay-per-view on a Wednesday night. Who in the world would that hurt? Absolutely nobody. And I've got the sweetest team hanging with me on this fine Thursday to break it all down for you. Let me introduce them to you real quick. Out of the gates, first and foremost, I'm going to keep this one on the West Coast, and I'm never tired of saying that because I finally get to say it. Let me keep it on the West Coast with Mary. How are you? Good to see you as always. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Happy Blood and Guts. We got some free wrestling. It is your girl, Julia Hart. I am hyped for this review. It was such a great pay-per-view for free TV. Are you kidding me?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I can't wait to get into it. But before we do, it is also, of course, it's a Thursday, but you need to have your twos up when I send it to the DMV every time for the Tuesday Night Delight himself. Shoddy is in the building here. We've got a crew full of sickos. We got All Elite Mary. We got Shoddy. I'm fired up about it. How about you, Shot?
That was good, man. It's your boy Shot Talks Graps, and I am back ready to talk about a banger episode yesterday. AEW, give yourself a round of applause. Man, last night was a perfect show, and I'm so hyped to talk about it. She called herself Julia Hart. I'm the untoxic spider. Tekla on this end over here, because I ain't a toxic person, bro. I got a good heart, you know what I'm saying? So
I hear you. I will say, Tekla in that match, what a showing. Unbelievable. Mina Shirakawa. I mean, the Sky Blue.
Let's get into it. First topic.
It's our first topic, and I'm super, super, super excited for this one because I don't just think that this was the match of the night last night. I think it's the most important women's match this year. I'm going to go crazy when I say that right now because I truly believe it with all my heart that this was the most important women's match this year because you know what can't happen anymore in the month of November is there's another company over there, and I'm not just trying to throw early shots, but they're going to lower a cage over 2 rings as well. You can't top what happened in the AEW Women's Blood and Guts match last night. That's off the table. It's not possible. You can't do it. And this was the most direct shot since Cody Rhodes hit the throne with a sledgehammer to the WWE right there. Top that. It wasn't even, I mean, it was top that to the rest of the card for AEW last night, let alone the WWE. Top that. I dare you. Psychologically, the storytelling in a match of this size, it's some of the most sublime work I've seen all year. And that is a difficult scenario with this many people involved. And not only that, you got Queen Aminata, who was involved in the storyline leading up to it and is injured. I mean, there was stones left unturned heading into this. It wasn't like on paper, this is going to be a classic. That was a classic. That was a classic. It was the first ever women's Blood and Guts match. It over-delivered. It didn't just, I mean, that was more than mail. That was FedEx. It delivered quick. And everybody did. The finish I thought was beautiful. Everything about it. Mary, I'm going to start with you though. Like, how did you enjoy this the way that I did? Because I lost track of time. I didn't even notice that the clock was basically to a full hour until after the finish. I was blown away by this. Did you feel the same?
It could have gone 2 hours and I still would have just been glued. I was in awe. I was in awe the entire time. And like you said, the finish itself was just cinema. Just perfect with Tony and being the wonderful wifey that she is to save Mina. There were so many particular storylines just occurring, and it all made sense. Even with Queen Aminata and Penelope Ford, them not being able to participate, from Willow and Chris to Chris and Mercedes to Megan Bain and Marina Shafir. There were so many particular storylines that were just participating in this match, and I loved it. I loved it. And when I found out it was over an hour, I was like, keep going. Keep going. That's fine.
Seriously, I was in the same boat. I mean, there were a bunch of, first off, Mini Monet off the charts, climbing through the side of the cage. Genius. Yep. Climbing through those little like peek out cubbies. I think you'd call them if you were still in kindergarten.
Little
squares off the charts. I still think maybe the coolest moment of the match, and maybe even the night, was when Marina Shafir, with her barefoot, stuck it in the glass. First off, nobody in their right mind wants to step on glass. She didn't just volunteer. She aggressively was like, yeah, cover this weapon that is the bottom of my foot.
The moment I saw her take her shoes off, even though I know that's her thing as a judoku, like I was like, she's about to do something with her feet because she going barefoot in there. My God, man. She did so great last night.
When she and Chris were going at it in the very first couple minutes, when she had boots on, I said, this won't be for long. I knew it. I was like, this won't be for long. This is only just a part of the outfit. She's not going to wear those boots. Her feet are her best weapon. I feel she's so fast and so quick with it, so technical with it.
Sincerely, too, it's so funny because Shad, and before I toss this to you to talk about this match, you and I have talked about the Death Riders for so long, and you and I have both been pretty much on the same page for the whole last year and a half about Marina Shafir is the standout. Marina Shafir is the standout. But then the whispers from the IWC and whatnot, right, are like, well, she can't wrestle. She doesn't wrestle. She's just an intimidating figure. She just looks like she's intimidating, and she's not even wrestling. Da, 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 da. Oh, no. Marina can still go. We saw it last night. Yeah. Not so fast, my friends, right? I thought that was poetic justice. She stood out, arguably, to me, in a match where nearly everyone did. And I was blown away by it. I think it was Marina's best in-ring performance yet. Would you agree with that?
Without a doubt. I think last night you saw her establish herself at one of the top women in the division. Honestly, like what we have been speaking about is the fact that character-wise, she is literally the most intimidated woman on the roster. Like she, by virtue, can really beat anybody on that company up in real life, but she walks like it. She doesn't talk much. She just has the mean face, and she has so much presence to her with her facial expressions. But last night you got an opportunity to see her go, and all her her judo slams look clean. That type of setting fit her so well. The nitty gritty, the violence, the whole nine. Like she fits that blood and guts type of appeal, and it worked. It was so good. I thought she was one of the biggest winners. I think Sky Blue, another person, someone that we haven't seen have a whole lot of character work, just out the gate. Crimson Mask, Sky Red, as you call her, just felt the energy, getting loud, saying, this is my type of match. I love it. Like, there's so many people that benefited. I don't think no woman in that match looked bad last night. Monet coming in, handing out all of her belts being a figure piece to get the victory. And Megan Bain, bro, like that Claymore she just hit out the gate. Like, oh my God. Like, there's so many. The reason this match was so good is because moments make matches. And there is so many moments in this match. You talk about the mirror spot. You talk about the shards in her foot. You talk about the belts. You talk about the ending with Toni Storm having to basically forfeit in the match. You talk about Jamie Hayter taking that big bump. Like, there are so many moments, and that's what makes these matches so great. And to what you said earlier, I swear this isn't a shot, but this is why this match most likely will stand out to all the matches, to the men's blood and guts, to potentially the men and women's War Games matches, because these women put it all on the line. And it's an unprecedented thing, because in professional wrestling nowadays, you don't allow. There's some weird safeguards saying, well, women, it's unladylike. Shut up. It's an equal opportunity sport here. These women can go just like the men can go. They can have bloodshed just like like men can have bloodshed. And that's what they did, and that's what they delivered last night. AEW's women's division is one of the most criminally underrated divisions in professional wrestling. And like, my goodness, there's so much positive. There's very low amount of negativity I can say towards it. The storytelling, like you mentioned, like now we're gonna get a reason for Mina and Tony versus Bane and Shafir. We got a reason for Stat and Monet with that big table spot. Like, there's just so many dots that were connected last night, and it was a masterpiece.
I could not agree more. I also thought maybe the most beautiful moment of the match was post-match when Tony had to quit and Marina's lying there in the middle of all of the carnage. She laughed. We haven't seen her smile in a year.
Yeah.
And she laughed like childlike glee.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of vindictiveness and you know, being that sadistic. Oh, is that going to carry her a long way? And like you said about this AEW women's division, it's not only is it criminally underrated, it doesn't feel like that long ago on this very program.
Mm-hmm.
We were having conversations about, did you see how little time the women got on Dynamite?
For sure.
Well, how about that last night? How about that is what I would say. And hand up, man.
I'll be on the record. I said that myself.
Yep. 100%.
I've been on record saying that too. And I think you have to, as much as you can criticize, you also got to give, compliment once something is fixed, right? So that's the one thing I think Tony is starting to see. And I've been saying this from the beginning too, man. When this woman, it's on record when she debuted and I was on a show for AEW. Mercedes Moné is a big figure piece of why this is happening.
Yep.
Like, no matter what anybody says, that was a big time signing, and you put a big time person in big time positions. The two biggest stars in AEW right now are the two women that are 1 and 2 in the PW 500. Mercedes Moné, Toni Storm. They're not only the biggest women's wrestlers, they're the biggest wrestlers in AEW. They're bigger wrestlers than Ospreay. They're bigger wrestlers than Swerve. They're bigger wrestlers than Kenny right now. All of them. Like, they are larger than life figures. And this is why you put in a position like that.
I sincerely, I said it last night. I was watching with my pops. And it's funny because you mentioned Megan Bain earlier. My pops, the number one thing he said, he goes, I don't understand how she's not even a bigger star than she is because she's got literally everything in the world going for her.
Sure.
But when it comes to Tony and Mercedes, man, we have our Ollie Frazier. This is Tyson Holyfield. This is Tyson Lennox Lewis. This is Rock Austin. We've got two absolute rock stars firing on all cylinders at all times. And it's like, when do you break the glass in case of emergency? Because there's no joke that those two, in my eyes, are, like you said, we've talked about pillars in AEW forever. And what Mercedes has done, she's come over and, she's invoked her hero, Eddie Guerrero, for a lot of her career. She's the Eddie Guerrero of this locker room. She can almost do whatever she wants. I can't wait to see what happens when things sort of change up after this story is told about the title belts. Because that's what Eddie did at his finest. He would continue to evolve, and that's what Mercedes does.
Because that's going to be a whole different, a whole new story.
It's going to be a whole different story.
Exactly. What Tony has done, though, and this is the point I wanted to get to, what Tony has done is ringmaster to Stone Cold Steve Austin. It is, oh no, this is what you were bound to do. This is what you were meant to do. This is the future. Toni Storm is, in my eyes, since maybe outside of John Cena going from Doctor of Thugonomics to everybody's childhood hero, and Stone Cold going from ringmaster to Steve Austin, or maybe Rocky Maivia even to Rock. I'd put what Toni Storm's arc over the last few years in that type of category. She's in unfamiliar territory with what she's done to change the narrative around her career. I mean, we just saw Chelsea Green get pied in the face, or I guess caked on NXT, and nobody brought up the Toni Storm thing, which was, in my eyes, the lowest point of her career. That was the low point.
She's You know, you're not wrong. She's completely. I don't even remember what Toni Storm was in the WWE and
She's
in
like a-
WX UK. I know she had of course I know who she was, but like I'm just saying we're so far removed from that, and she's transcended it to a completely like she's just one of the most unique characters that I've seen in pro wrestling in the last like 5 to 10 years. Like she's got the balance of being able to tell stories, to have comedy aspect in ways, but like I swear I always say this, we forget how great of an in-ring competitor she is because she's such a great character. Like sometimes it's
so true.
it's so like some a person got out of this or they got that. They don't got both of it. There's very few that got both of it. She's got both of it. And one last thing though, I want to touch on. It'll be Megan Bain's time sooner than later. That
Facts.
woman is a freak, like a absolute athletic monster, and it's not even the strength; it's just her ability to like just my goodness out the gate, just hitting the claymore out of nowhere, bro. Like that woke me up like crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, holy smokes! And she's got next that. AEW has probably had their best free agent year for women's wrestling this past year. Being able to sign her, Tekla, who looked like $1 million, and Mina Shirakawa, who's a instant star as well. Those three women, not WWE women, by the way, right? Women that are from Stardom. All three of them from Stardom, funny enough, in the Indies.
There's good wrestling in Stardom, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, yeah.
Not a bad pull. The only thing that they're missing is they don't have Io Sky jumping out the trash can, but that's it. That's all good.
That's it.
It's neither here nor there.
That's it.
I'm 100% with you. We've got Donnie with an interesting comment here. He said, I thought all of the women worked extremely hard and deserve a ton of credit. I hated Aubrey focusing on Toni while Mina was being whipped. She gave away the finish. Small detail, but important one. If I had to complain about one thing, we've been remarkably positive. I kind of noticed the same thing, except for though, the one place I'll also give Aubrey credit for is she handled sort of the rest of the stuff, whether it was the locked door, the being distracted at the right time and whatnot so well. I'm going to give the pass there. I think it was a footnote. Like, right? Like it was like the dessert wasn't as good as the 7-course meal we just had. It is the way that I sort of look at it. It's like, okay, but we still had, nobody hates ice cream, right? Like it was still pretty good, you know? And so I can hear that for sure. We've got BJ Dixon here in the comments with Sky Blue was a trooper for taking the damage the way she did. I unbelievable to be in the ring that long for sure. And no, I know Donnie. I just enjoyed the match so much. And there was so much work put in that I'm willing to overlook that one slightly. We've got a few other comments here. We've got Sky Blue should dethrone Chris Statlander, in my opinion, from DCX Warlord. That is an interesting one.
It's got to be Megan Bain.
Yeah, I think Megan Bain makes the most sense.
Once they go back, that's a Clash of the Titans match right there.
Yeah,
it's a little bit unstoppable force, immovable object with Bane and Statlander, right? Because you just physicality wise, it's hard to put two women on a poster with a stare down that are that physically intimidating, both of them, and can wrestle at the level that they do with that kind of physicality. I think that match, in my eyes, makes the most sense. But I am cool with either because, don't get me wrong, I'm from Chicago, as everyone knows. Huge fan of Sky Blue and what she did last night for 40 minutes in there, bleeding like a stuck pig, like just absolutely covered crimson mask, as we all love to cliche say. It was pretty darn impressive. But let's keep it rolling. We got more stuff to cover today. I'm sorry, my friends, we got a lot on tap. Let's talk about Hangman against Powerhouse Hobbs, because first off, that first match was impossible to follow. This was electric. I have heard some complaints.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
I've heard some complaints about two things. I'm getting there. I've heard some complaints about two things. And one of them being Hobbs maybe not necessarily being willing to, actually be who he's not willing to. Sorry, I got a phone call there that scared me to death. But anyway, the Hobbs should be more dominant than he is. Hobbs bumped like a madman last night for Hangman, which I found quite fascinating. At the same time, also not totally sure how the entire arena's electricity was hooked up in the one. There was like a central electronics location because the arena lights flashed too and everything. I was like, wait a minute, hang on. It's not like somebody just like flipped a breaker. No pun intended. Sorry, Braun. But Shad, I do have to ask you about Hangman and Powerhouse. Hangman picks up the win. Obviously, we're headed for Hangman Joe 2. Here sometime soon in a cage. This time they will be caged. As far as that match is concerned, but what were your thoughts on the match? Because I still think that women's match was impossible to follow.
No, without a doubt, I wouldn't say like this would have been match of the night on any other card. It's just the fact that we had two marquee blood and guts matches, and this was kind of the frosting inside of an Oreo, right? It's like it's that kind of situation, and they still delivered, man. Like I can't fathom to go after that match and still have the crowd rocking and them delivering like they delivered. Like you still got to give them a lot of credit. Will Hobbs, I think, needed that match yesterday. That was a loss that felt like a big win for him because Will Hobbs has been with this company for quite a while now. He looks the part. He's an absolute beast. And we have been, asking ourselves, man, when is he going to be in the main event picture? Will he be an eventual world heavyweight champion? Injuries happen, talent come in and out. You kind of lose the footing a little bit. But last night, I think we got a little bit of a wake-up call. Be like, oh, yeah, this is why we were talking about that. He did everything perfectly in this match, man. When he got his offense in, he was putting pain in the Hangman. He was putting him through a lot of like physicality. But like you mentioned, he bumped the spot from the table, man. I thought bro was going to tear his ACL. like the landing on that looked so scary. And then like you mentioned, disgusting, bro. I was so afraid. I was like, yo,
terrified.
I was more afraid of that spot than the ending with the electricity. But that ending right there, man, falling 40 feet from on the top out there, a man his size, like that's crazy to see. But that's what you got to do to take him down, and that's what makes him a powerhouse Hobbs. That's what makes him a big time legitimate monster, because you got to literally, like, it's kill or be killed. You got to kill me to beat me, damn near, right? Like you got to really put me through the ringer to get me to lose, and that's what Hangman had to do. And that also, this is perfect because Hangman as champion, like from the previous reign to what we're doing now, like I want to see him go through the ring. I want him to have these type of matches, these type of obstacles, and be a fighting champion to this degree. And this is one of those like roadblocks going into Samoa Joe that we're gonna get. My main thing is this: we talk about blood and guts and all that. How is Samoa Joe and Hangman going top last night? That's gonna be the main challenge, because the cage match is gonna be special. But like, I love Joe. I think he's one of the best of all time. But it's like, I don't know, man. Hobbs kind of really set the bar high last night.
It's going to be nearly impossible to top Shad. And I think that's the other thing, too, is I didn't need to know that Powerhouse Hobbs was capable of that. But holy. Like, what? What? I mean, we know how athletic Hobbs is. Like, that's, established. What we saw last night was a different planet. I will say this, though. We are a little bit behind on time here because we had a little bit of fun with that first match. So let's move on to our next topic. Let's talk about FTR and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. First off, I thought the timing of this was hilarious. You're in Greensboro, so I love the idea of Steamboat being there. Obviously, in Steamboat and Flair history and whatnot, this is all great. It's also North Carolina. We know for a fact that FTR is from North Carolina. Also, WrestleMania 25, which is crazy to think, is a decade and a half plus ago. And we all were like, whoa, look, they had Piper and Snuka against Jericho. and they were legends, and it was fun. And then Steamboat went in there and started ripping arm drags and working like he'd never lost a step. You want to talk about terrified, Shad, about like from the last segment? I was terrified. I'm like, they're going to pile drive this old man on his head.
I got so scared by it.
I was petrified.
I was watching it. I was watching it with my
I was
wife.
like,
She was looking at it like, why is that old guy? Like, what are they doing there?
I'm like, don't do it. And I'm like, and if anybody would be willing, Ricky's like, yeah, spike pile driver, let's do it.
let's do it.
Mary, I want to get your thoughts on the segment, though.
No, you
Karen was
literally
fascinating.
you took the words out of my mouth. I was like, no, please, Ricky, no, Ricky, no. No, it could have been more hilarious. I loved the whole segment between FTR and Steamboat. The fact that we saw Ricky Steamboat at his age that he is now, still showing that he can go at least a little bit, but I would have loved to see Flair, but well wishes to Ric Flair. I hope everything's well with him. But as far as FTR and going into their storyline with Brodito, I'm very, 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 very excited to see that. I can't wait. I think we might have another tag team match of the year contender between those two. No doubt about it.
Couldn't agree more. Bandito is having maybe the best year of anybody. And it's interesting. Like, I'm looking at men's wrestler of the year this year. I'm looking at the two best options are both in tag teams right now. I think it's Javon Evans, and I think it's Bandito.
Bandito.
That's where I've got it. And then, I mean, when it comes to the FTR factor, they can have a great tag match with nearly anybody.
I love when Bandito hit the ropes and snaps into that suplex. That joint's so clean.
That was clean.
It looks like the brilliance of it is I can only imagine that it happened on accident the first time. Because it looks like he overshoots it.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're like, it's like if when you're playing the video game, it's like the new like longer animation.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You hit the button and you're like, oh wait, we can just watch now. Like it's one of the.
It does the move for you, right?
Yeah, right. Like, no. Now they're just gonna play it. Like it's so cool. I think it's one of the smartest things and just most athletic things, no doubt.
One thing though, man, what's up with Dax always cursing somebody in the stands after?
Yeah,
that bro really be hating everybody.
It's so a hater.
Who is that?
Dax. He was like shouting at some woman out there. I'm like, bro, relax.
Like,
also, man, Stokely saying he's the Macho Man line.
Oh, it's unbelievable when he did that.
Oh my god, bro! Stokely is so funny.
Stokely is comedic gold, and it's so funny to me too because I'm like,
he said I ain't seen him on TikTok in a while.
The most impressive thing to me though about like the Dax and FTR thing is like they're super Greensboro like natives. They left no opportunity to be cheered last night.
For sure.
And yes, it's a bit of a comedy segment, but I love that. They left zero room for like, oh, we are from North Carolina though, so you kind of like us. No. Like, and I think that to your point earlier about like Dax just going at the lady in the crowd.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It was just golden.
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant stuff. It's just, it's so funny to me. But no, I enjoyed it too. I thought it was a fun little like, what do you call like for the like you said, it was like a pseudo pay-per-view last night. It was a nice little like transition segment.
Yeah,
100%. And the time and place, it actually is some of the I think the best booking AEW's done in a long time because it was necessary. We needed a breather for a second. We've got a great comment here from Chris Leclerc. He mentioned that Ric Flair was supposed to be there. We do know that, yes, and we wish the best. Yeah. And then also we've got from Say, people love to talk about legends from Greensboro, North Carolina, but everybody forgets that New Jack is from Greensboro as well. That's a very good point. And, rest in peace. But R-Truth is from outside of Greensboro. Obviously, he wasn't available there. Eric Denton here with show was great. Women should have gone on last, though. I couldn't agree more. I don't know how they could have known that, though, until that match happened.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part.
I'm not, you know what? They set the tone. They said, drop the mic, top this. That's what they told us. So respect, man.
Now, from great friend of the program and of all of ours, Donnie De Silva, I do have to read a series of comments here. He said, I didn't know where last night's show was till I saw Ricky. He refuses to travel outside North Carolina. That's good to know. And then he added, a mutual friend told me last night Ricky was wishing he was 5 years younger and could have done more. He was mad at Father Time. That made my day, Donnie. I love that. Of course he was. You could see it on his face.
So when was his? They mentioned that obviously they did his last match. That was what, like a few years ago.
That was Backlash against Chris Jericho, correct? Or
no. They did an independent show.
Right. I apologize.
I think they said 2023,
Yeah.
2022.
That's right. That's right. That is correct. And then we've got one. Oh, whoops. I clicked the wrong comment there, but we got one more. He said Dax called out my partner. So he's on my hit list. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You know what? I know who he did call out the OG.
He said it. He said him.
I saw that on the Twitter machine, bro.
Yep. I saw it on Twitter.
Salute to the OG, man. Jimmy Corderas is a good follow on X, bro. Whether you agree with him or disagree with him, his insight is very well input, and it's a good perspective to read, man. So I respect a lot what he says online.
I'll add to that. He's been an amazing friend to our program, our platform, and everything here at WR. Jimmy Cordes is one of my favorite people in the industry. I went out of my way to make sure I caught the segment that he was on Busted Open. I don't even like shouting out other shows on this show, but I'll say it here first. Jimmy Corderas is a friend of ours for life, no doubt about that. Just like Donnie De Silva, no doubt when it comes to that. And but love hearing those names on TV. I will say, right, Donnie? You know, it's always nice to hear somebody shout you out. Doesn't get much better than that. But let's talk about one more blood and guts match. Blood and guts. The men's match. I'm gonna, in journalism school, they teach you if it leads, it bleeds. This wasn't blood, it was fire. I think the hope would be normally that the fire would be put out, but Darby Allin just was a human being on fire in the ring last night. Absolutely buck wild. What
was an NBA Jam? Like, you're on fire.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. There was you didn't have to do anything production wise to make him look as on fire as he was.
Literally.
In last night's match. That was a human Kane getting caught on fire in the first ever Inferno match in the WWE looked way more gimmicked than Darby Allin just fully in flames. They were like, oh, we'll try this. Maybe it works. Oh, no, it worked. He's on fire. Also, we've all used staplers. We went to elementary school here on this program. I have accidentally been pulling a staple out of an essay packet because I needed to restaple a new page and cut my finger. Having my hands stapled in my pockets is just terrifying. That seems as scary. That's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. That sounds awful. Mary, I'm going to get your thoughts on this match. That's all break down, but what mayhem.
Honestly, what mayhem. What insanity did we watch for the last part? From the fire to the grating the back with the fork or the knife or whatever Mox had in his hand in the first couple minutes he joined. From Claudio using every opponent as for his version of the spinneroonie, it was insanity. Darby, I hope he's okay. I hope he's genuinely okay.
Yeah, is it second or third degree? That's the really bad one. Which
let
was the bad?
Let us know, man.
I just hope he wasn't getting skin grafts.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt.
Shotty, I gotta get your thoughts on it too, man. Obviously, there's another factor here though that we haven't mentioned. Kyle O'Reilly picking up the win and John Moxley being the one to give up. That's what I really also want to ask you about before we, spin it around the horn.
You know what? Thank you for saying that, because that's kind of where I wanted to divert the conversation, because you know what? Darby Allin does what Darby Allin does, man. He is going to put his body on the line for the love of AEW, for the love of the game. When he gets older, we'll see how he walks. But Kyle O'Reilly, man, I think last night he was probably one of the biggest winners of the entire show, because this was the most significant victory pinfall that he's had maybe in his entire tenure in All Elite Wrestling. And this is a guy that you forget how talented he is from all that he's done, from the Black and Gold days to Ring of Honor, the whole nine. Like, him getting that opportunity and making Mox tap last night, making the maybe potentially breaking one of the biggest straws in the haystack that could be the Death Riders. It is pivotal, and it's big. And obviously, I know a lot of people would be like, well, Darby, maybe he should have his comeuppance. Darby had his moment already, right? This matchup was more so for the Death Riders and the conglomeration and the babyface team. And this is to tell the story that will be told after this match and what is going to happen with the Death Riders. I definitely can see Mox eventually getting kicked out the whip. We'll have to wait and see. But I thought they're a team that gets a lot of scrutiny, but they do their job at the end of the day. And for Kyle O'Reilly, man, I hope this is an opportunity for him to really kind of take this win and just build on to it, man. Really give him his moment. Kyle O'Reilly is a guy who is like, I don't know what it is, man. It's one of those situations where he's just kind of lost in the shuffle at times because this roster is so stacked, but he's a criminally underrated performer, man. Such a great professional wrestler, somebody who's I'm a big fan of, and him having that moment, man, like, it was a very good moment. And the match, I thought it delivered too. I didn't even think, I still would probably prefer the women's one a little bit more, but like, I think there's so much greatness happened in that match for the men's side too.
I totally agree, dude. I thought the look on his face of relief when it was over was one of the best pro wrestling, just single facial expressions I've seen. And it might have just been organic.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with ourselves, right? After what we witnessed, there's just a lot of great things going on when it comes to this match. But I want to take this time to actually shout out Jon Moxley, because nobody's name has been dragged through the mud harder than Jon Moxley's since the Death Rider storyline. But I'm starting to believe, and this might sound a little bit existential for a pro wrestling podcast here, my friends, so bear with me. But I'm starting to believe he has just continued to just put a little bit extra cash in the bank. He's invested a little bit more. He's putting a few more cookies in the cookie jar for that rainy day. Because what we want the most from Moxley is actually that hero, that guy that doesn't quit, that guy that does the opposite of everything he's represented this entire time. And he has set up the perfect turn to make himself the type of babyface he was when he was the lone Shield member that showed up on a random Dynamite and Spike DDT'd Kenny Omega straight through a glass table. That is what we're going to see from Moxley. He has invested in stock this entire time of people begging for it to change. And when it does, guess what the reaction's going to be? Organic and loud.
Sure.
And loud. And that is one of the craziest takeaways I had from last night. I know it might sound a bit overthought, but man, did we get worked? And isn't that the point? Right? Because it does make us mad. Mox isn't a quitter. Mox is a fighter. He's scary. He's crazy. But he's starting to have second thoughts. And when that changes, we're going to get the Wild Thing back. Like Rick Vaughn and Major League. We're going to go from 90-mile-an-hour fastballs to 100-mile-an-hour fastballs real quick. And the crowd is going to love it. I cannot wait for that. And I actually have to give credit where it's due in advance. You can call me wrong in a few weeks if it doesn't turn out that way. But Jon Moxley is going to be the Jon Moxley we're used to again very shortly, and taking away our really fun toy we all love might have been one of the best parenting decisions out of Jon Moxley this year is all I'm saying, right? I'm starting to feel like there's a method to the madness.
That's true.
You know, there's a method to the madness here, and we're on the way to something big. Go ahead, May.
And I will say it from the get-go, if Jon Moxley leaves the Death Riders, I need Marina to take over. She's ready. She's dominant enough. She's ready to go. She's perfect for this new villainesque, insane role of what the Death Riders should be now.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Death Riders that we all, ran through the mud. The Death Riders now.
Could you imagine if she cuts a promo on Jon Moxley where she goes, "You should have been listening to me all along. You were never built for this."
The next Dynamite is gonna be
I don't know how I feel about that, man.
I don't hate it. It depends
I
on
don't hate it,
how
but
it goes.
I think Moxley.
her or Claudio.
Nah, not Claudio. That boy can't cut a promo for nothing.
In a weird way, I'd almost like to see him align with Gabe Kidd.
I was gonna say, isn't he in the
Gabe
Kidd as the new leader makes the most sense. I think I'm gonna end
or the mouth or the mouthpiece. Pause.
The mouthpiece, exactly. We're gonna. Hey, Mouth from the Goonies was my favorite character because guess what his real name was?
Hey, man,
Guess what his real name was? It was Clark.
Stuff here, so I had
It
to
was
protect
Clark.
myself.
all right,
It was
bro.
Clark is the best. Mouth from the Goonies is the best character in the Goonies, and everyone knows it. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. We're gonna end it on this comment though, really quick before I take us home. Good friend of the show, Fernando's with Clark is hardly ever wrong. I couldn't agree more. I've been incorrect, but basically never wrong. At least in my lifetime to this point. But thank you so much, everybody that's tuned in. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't. Also, hit that notifications button. That helps us out a ton. We appreciate all the comments. Everybody that tunes in every day. That's why we do this. We love y'all so much. We appreciate it. I hope you have a great Thursday. On behalf of me, Clark, Mary, and Shad, we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Different crew, but same vibes. That's going to be, of course, at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock over on the East Coast, 8 o'clock in the UK, and that's 9 a.m. for my good friends in Hawaii. We will talk to you soon.